it. Sorry, boss, I can't reach. Show your thoughts on animal abuse. Fucking shoot them in the head.
I agree.
Bastards.
The animals are the people that do it.
Fucking people.
What about the animals we eat?
What?
What about the animals we eat and where?
Well, I only eat what I kill.
Right, okay. There you go, man.
No way.
So you agree with animal abuse then?
No, I agree. I don't agree with abuse at all.
So shooting somebody in the head's no abuse?
No.
Come on, man. Come on,
so you want to kill a human?
Come on. Come on. If I shot you in the head, that would not be abusive, no?
Well, as long as you hate me, sir. You know, as long as you hate me.
Come on, man. Come on.
You know.
Make it make sense.
It does make sense. Kill what you eat.
Can I kill you and eat you? I'm sure you'd be cool with that.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. What about everybody around you?
I think animal abuse all across the world should be stopped.
I agree. What's your name, by the way?
My name's Jodie.
Jodie, pleased to meet you.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a couple of questions?
Yeah, of course you can.
Okay, so what do you think of animals, first of all?
I love animals. I have 3 cats and a dog in the house, so I do.
Cool. I have 2 cats and a doggy at home as well.
Do you?
Yep. And I just found a little kitten last week, so she's running havoc around my house at the minute. Animal abuse, people who abuse animals, what do you think of that?
I think it's just disgusting, especially in the modern day. There's all sorts of different ways that we can stop it. We don't need to use fur. We don't need to cut down trees for like oil and all. We don't need to do animal testing anymore.
I totally agree with you. So, by extension, the third question I always ask people is harder, but there's no judgment because I used to pay for it too. What about the animals we take into slaughterhouses and turn them into like leather and food products and milk and eggs and all that stuff? And genuinely no judgment because I used to pay for it too.
Yeah.
I just know some information now that I didn't know before. What do you think of that?
I think we should 100% cut down on it, but obviously it's never going to stop. So I think if we're going to be killing animals, we should at least be using them like for everything that we can. So cows, people say not to wear leather and just eat them, but then we're wasting material.
Yeah, I get you. And I think I used to think that way too. I was vegetarian for a long time and I used to wear leather.
Yeah.
And then I realised that some cows are actually killed just specifically for leather.
Yeah.
But if you take away the necessity of eating them at all and just eat plant-based, do you understand what I'm saying? Then if you like, I haven't eaten an animal product since I was 19.
19?
I'm 56. So the justification we normally use is we have to eat them to survive. We need the nutrients from them. We need protein. We need calcium. All that stuff's bullshit that's fed to you from the industry. Yes, you do need calcium and protein, but you can get that from plants. Well, then what would be the justification in taking an animal that can feel pain and suffer in the same way as your dog can into a slaughterhouse, hang them upside down and cut their throat when you can just eat a vegan version instead?
Yeah. I think the only way to justify that is if it's in a do or die situation.
Survival's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you're in a survival situation, you will do anything to survive. Yeah, that's the thing. But nobody in this street or in Belfast likely is in a survival situation.
Yeah.
Like, I know there are homeless people and stuff about it and I feel really bad for them, but most people, 99.95% of the population, I just made that stat up, can just eat plants.
Yeah.
You don't even have to buy the alternatives. You can literally just make. I can eat everything that a non-vegan eats. I can eat a vegan version of it without the alternatives or with the milk chicken and the milk meat and stuff in it.
Yeah.
It's literally the easiest thing I've ever done in my life, going vegan. People think, would you think it's hard, or what's your perception of?
No, I think it would be very hard, especially whenever you're conditioned your whole life to eating that way and being brought up that way. But I think if you have just enough courage, then you can do it, and you try hard enough.
Let me tell you 2 things about that. When I went vegan, I thought, shit, what am I going to eat? And so everybody does, 2 weeks before you're thinking about it. I don't want to pay for animals to be shot in the head or thrown into gas chambers like we do to pigs. That's what we do to them, by the way. I don't know if you know that. We throw them into gas chambers. Brutal. We don't have to rape cows and take the children away from them and kill the baby boy calves so we can drink milk. We can just put oat milk in our coffee, rice milk in our coffee. So I thought it was going to be difficult.
Yeah.
And I realised 2 weeks after I went vegan that it's dead simple. The supermarkets are full of vegan food. Nero and Starbucks and McDonald's and KFC and Burger King all have vegan options.
Yeah.
Little Wing round the corner have a full vegan menu. So you probably didn't know that, but it's so easy just to walk into anywhere now. And they've nearly almost always, even in Northern Ireland, believe it or not, we're 10 years behind the times, there's vegan food absolutely everywhere. So once you go vegan, you go into the supermarket the first couple of times, you think, right, I can't eat that tomato soup, there's milk in them, but this tomato soup doesn't, I'll just eat that instead. See you inside a couple of weeks, you know everything that you can eat. You just avoid leather products is one, because we have this perception that fur is extremely cruel. Like, fur is extremely cruel, there's no doubt about it, but fur is just leather with the hair taken off. Or with the hair still on. You know, so there's really no difference between somebody wearing leather and somebody wearing fur, other than this perception that one's more cruel than the other. But what really is the difference at the end of the day? And like I say, if there's options available for everything, then I don't know what the justification would be, other than what you've expressed to me, which is what you've always been taught and what you've always known. But there is another way. You can just choose kindness and compassion for all animals and buy the vegan version. You can go into the Doc Martin shop there and go upstairs and they have a full vegan range of everything that's downstairs when they've got vegan versions of them all. Everybody's doing vegan stuff these days. What do you think of all that?
I think it's brilliant that we're able to move forward as a society, especially being in such a closed-minded area like Northern Ireland. I
agree with you. Like, homophobia and racism and all those things are fucking terrible in my opinion. But another one that I also hate is speciesism, and that's all those things are seeing others as less than us. And I just extend that to other animals as well. So I don't see a cow as any different than a dog. I don't see a chicken as any different than a pig. As far as I'm concerned, I hate to see anybody suffering, and that includes other animals. And if I can not be the cause of that, well then, why would I choose to be the cause of it? What do you think of that?
I think it's just brilliant that whenever people do choose that path, and I think you're just 100% right in doing what you're doing, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing awareness across all of Ireland. It's brilliant.
Is it something you would consider if I gave you some information that you would look into going forward?
Yeah, 100%. My mummy's actually, she wants to become a vegan, and the only reason she hasn't is because of everyone else in the house.
That's it. But societal pressure as well.
Yeah, she's looking to start a vegan diet, and I'm considering going on it with her. And I 100%.
You'll never look back. I swear to God, every vegan I know will tell you 2 weeks after they went vegan it's the best decision they ever made. And you see, if you do it as a diet thing, sometimes it can seem hard because it's just maybe easier to go in and, like, you go into McDonald's, there's 2 vegan options, whereas there's a myriad of other stuff. And if you see it as a diet for yourself, you can slip back in that. So I always encourage people to look at it from the victim's perspective. And if you do that, if you were that animal being thrown into a gas chamber, or that animal having somebody sticking a knife in your throat so as they can eat a burger, well then that changes your whole perspective. I think we should look at everything from the victim's perspective. From the victim's point of view, in any injustice, and that's just another injustice that we're all part of that's completely normalised. I'm going to give you a card.
A card?
Yeah. I used to give out leaflets, and I thought, do you know what, I can put it all on a card now and it's easier for people to stick in their pocket. And
smaller.
Yeah. So on here, that's my YouTube, by the way. Or sorry, that's my YouTube.
Yeah.
I just talk to people on the street, do interviews. All I'm trying to do is get people information. I'm trying to judge people because when I was young, I paid for it too. Just didn't know any better. So on here, diet-wise, let me see what's on here. Game Changers is really good. Gives you loads of information that the industry tells you about protein and calcium, and it debunks it all. Cowspiracy, seaspiracy, you mentioned trees there, so cowspiracy shows you how we're ripping down the Amazon rainforests, but it's basically to grow corn and soy maize, which nearly all goes to feeding cows and cattle. We're killing 78 billion land animals every year, so they all eat crops. So that's why the Amazon's being trashed. But the one I'm going to ask you to watch above all, it's this one here, free to watch on YouTube, the best speech you'll ever hear by that guy. Sounds really boring. Literally the best thing I've ever heard in my life. Inside 5 minutes I was like, holy shit, this guy's just spitting out truth bombs. And I made the decision to go vegan on the spot and went like completely vegan. I was already strict vegetarian anyway, so it was easier for me. But I couldn't argue with a word the guy was saying, and he talks about all injustice. And then ties it in with veganism and the animals as well. It's really powerful.
That's brilliant. Thank you. It was lovely meeting you.
I'll give you a shout.
Thanks,
Julie.
See you
Have a
later.
great day. Bye bye. Make sure you check that out.